Hello everybody, and thank you so much for watching this video. This is Sophie Gold from sophiegold.com. I have been looking or listening to a lot of audio books lately. Some have been by Dr. Joe Vitale, some have been by Jerry and Esther Hicks, some have been on law of attraction and quantum physics. I've also been listening to The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Waddell, if I've pronounced that right. I'll look into it in a second. Anyway, and one of the strategies for clearing out, or what I like to say, interviewing your beliefs, I want to share with you today, because I think it's very, very powerful to challenge how you feel, especially if it makes you feel bad, because then you can uncover if it really is bad after all, or what steps you can actually take to rectify the situation. My passion is helping women to, connect with their inner voice, to crank up their inner voice and uncover the answers that lie within. And this is just one of those exercises that help you to do that. So how this exercise works is this. First of all, you have to ask yourself 6 questions. So you ask yourself 6 questions, and then you write down your answers on a piece of paper. So this has to be done on a white sheet of paper. You write down your answers on a sheet of paper, and then you look over it. And normally when you get to question 3 or 4, you'll be like, why did I think that for? Because now you've challenged your belief, you've challenged your negative emotion. So here are the 6 questions. Question 1, what are you unhappy about? What do you feel bad about? Question 2, why are you unhappy about that? What's the reason? Normally the reason for why you're unhappy about a particular thing is actually your inherent beliefs. Number 3, sorry about that, what are you concerned would happen if you were not unhappy about that? So number 1, we've talked about what are you unhappy about. So for example, you could say, I'm unhappy that I'm not getting enough customers every single month. I'm not getting enough clients. And then the next question is, why are you unhappy about that? And you could say, well, I'm unhappy about that because I can't pay my bills. And then what you might find exposes itself is you might have a belief that says, I can never pay my bills. I'm never good enough. Okay, which would be a belief that you actually need to challenge in itself. Then number 3 is, what are you concerned would happen if you were not unhappy about that? So if you were not unhappy about the fact that you couldn't pay your bills, what are you concerned would happen? Are you concerned that you wouldn't work as hard in your business? What are you actually concerned about? Then question 4, do you believe that? And then that's when you get your aha moment. So let's say the example was, I'm unhappy that I'm not getting enough clients, and it's not I'm not able to pay my bills because I'm not getting enough clients, and I'm concerned if I wasn't unhappy about it that I wouldn't work as hard. And then number 4 is, do you believe that? Do you believe that if you weren't concerned about if you weren't concerned about the fact that you don't have enough money to pay your bills, that you wouldn't work as hard? Are you concerned about that? Is that really your character not to work hard? It's normally number 4 where you get your aha moment, like, oh no, that's bullshit, of course I'd still work hard. Number 5, why do you believe that? So if you haven't had your aha moment by question 4, why do you believe that? So if I just go straight through again, number 1, what are you unhappy about? I'm unhappy about, let's say for example, I can't get enough clients for my business. Number 2, why are you unhappy about that? Because it's not enabling me to have enough money to pay my bills. Number 3, what are you concerned would happen if you were not unhappy about that? Well, I might not work as hard. And then number 4, do I believe that? No, not really, because I'm always going to work as hard because I'm passionate about my business. And then question number 5 is, why do you believe that? Because I love what I do. I'm not going to not work hard at my business just because I'm not getting enough clients. Number 6, and this is the final question here, what are you concerned would happen if you did not believe that? Okay, so let's say for example, right through it was negative, and you believe that you wouldn't work as hard because you're not making enough money, or whatever the thing is. What are you concerned would happen if you didn't believe that? If you didn't believe that you wouldn't work as hard, or if you didn't believe that you didn't make enough money at the end of the month, and which is causing you stress and problems, and your relationships are breaking down, whatever it is. It's very easy for people to sometimes, for example, I'll go back to this again. Let's say you're not making enough money from your business. Instead of you sitting there and being unhappy and being in that negative capacity, because normally when you're sitting there unhappy, stressed out, thinking, shit, how am I going to pay my bills? That is normally the most unproductive environment to actually do something. Instead of, if you are not getting enough clients, you need to ask yourself, okay, what can I do differently? Can I advertise more on social media? Can I hand out flyers? Can I attend networking events? Can I give some offers out, to my list? There's lots of different things that you can do. Let's say you are unhappy about your relationship. You could say, if we were going through this as a relationship, you could say, well, okay, what are you unhappy about? I'm unhappy that my boyfriend always comes back late. Why are you unhappy about that? Because I feel that he doesn't love me enough to come back early. What are you concerned would happen if you were not unhappy about that? If I was not unhappy about my boyfriend coming home late, then he might not understand and continue on doing it. Do you believe that? Yes, you could say. Why do you believe that? I believe that because the only way for my boyfriend to know I'm unhappy about it is if I show that I'm unhappy about it. And what are you concerned would happen if you did not believe that? Well, then he would continue on his bad behavior. And as you're listening to this, it just sounds so ridiculous, doesn't it? Because being unhappy about a situation probably would drive your boyfriend away as opposed to bring him towards you. Instead, let's say every time he comes back late, you say, darling, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Do you want me to do anything for you? Or whatever it is. I'm not saying, bend over backwards and kiss his ass. But I'm saying, instead of being a nagging girlfriend, you could change it around and say, oh, I love you, I'm happy for you, or I bought you this, or I made dinner for you, to make him want to come back home, because the more you nag, the more he's not going to come back home. And you can use these set of questions for what you're frustrated about, what you're sad about, what pisses you off. So these set of questions you can use for anything in your life that you want to challenge and clear out. Because we don't want, being unhappy or being in an unhappy state or vibe is not productive for you becoming successful in every area of your life. So, just to give you the questions in a clear about way, and I will put them underneath this video, is number 1, what are you unhappy about? Number 2, why are you unhappy about that? That unveils the reason. Number 3, what are you concerned would happen if you were not unhappy about that? Number 4, do you believe that? Number 5, why do you believe that? Number 6, what are you concerned would happen if you did not believe that? This method, again, as I mentioned, it was based on what I've been listening to in my audiobooks, but it actually originates from something called the option method. So you can check that out on the internet if you want, because they offer other different questions. But use this, abuse it, clear out the bullshit, and I will see you next time.